Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be looking at how you can implement dependency injection the easy way in .NET MAUI. I'm sure some of you are familiar with how to do this before, but we're going to look at how to do it the easy way. So if you want to see that, consider watching this video to the end. Now if you're familiar with dependency injection before, what you can do is to skip this video to a particular timeline. I'm going to put that in the chapter of this video. Well, if you're new to dependency injection, what we're going to do first is to show how you do dependency injection in .NET MAUI, and then we now look at how to do it the easy way. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Alright, so I have a project here, and this is a project that we've been working on from the status bar styling, and I'm going to make use of this project. If you have not watched the last two videos, they are not related, but we looked at styling of status bar. It will be in the cards, and then we also looked at how you can do shell route registration the easy way. I also put that in the card, so you can check that out. All right, so what I want to show you here is that when we are working with MVVM in .NET MAUI, we look at dependency injection. If you look at this page structure now, we don't have anything like MVVM already, and then we're able to navigate to some of these pages. Some of these things, some of this logic are supposed to be right in the view model, right? So what we're going to do is to restructure this project and then use dependency injection to work with things. So now to work with dependency injection, we need to install a NuGet package, and that's the Microsoft extension, Microsoft.extension.dependency injection. So I'm going to find it here. It's a long one, so fortunately we have it right at the top here, Microsoft.extensions.dependency injection. So I'm going to install that into this project, and that's the latest version I'm going to install. And once that is done, I will apply here and then accept any license that is requested. So once that is done, we can then start to look at how to use dependency injection. I expect to be able to see, oh, this is already installed. I expect for me to ask me to accept a license, but I guess that's not the case. All right, so we've installed the NuGet package, and then we can see it already in the list of our dependencies here. Can see it right here. All right, so with that, we can easily now go to add our services and then our view model. So what I'm going to do is create two folders. The first one is going to be for services, and the other one is going to be for the view model. So add the folder. Let's call this view models. So if you look here already, we have we have like 3 pages that we're working with. So I'm going to add four view models, and I'm going to add maybe 1 or 2 services, right? So what I'm going to do, let's start with the view model. So add a class. The first one is going to be page, let's say page 2 view model, like this. I'm going to copy this so that's to be faster as I put the name. So that's page 2. I'm going to do for page 3. So page 3 view model, and then I'm going to do for page 4 view model, page 4 view model, and I have 2 more. So this one is going to be the main page view model, and then I'm going to have the base view model. Say base view model. All right, so this is going to be public. it's going to be public, and then for all other view models we're going to also be public, and then we inherit the base view model from here, base view model, and then you will see the use for this later on by the time we are looking at the easy way to work with the view model. So I'm trying to go to all my view models and then do the right thing, public, and then inherit the base view model. Page 3, mark it as public, and then it's gonna be inherit the base view model. Page 2, public, and then inherit the base view model. All right, so now in each of them we're going to have a model. In each of them we're going to have a command that will do the navigation. So let's just have a command, so we can do something like public. So in this page 2 now, public I command, let's call it next command, and we're going to set that to a new command, and our new command will do something. Our new command will go to the next page. So for our page 2, let's find our page 2. From the page 2 we have this button. When the button is clicked, we want to go to page 3, right? So I'm going to cut this out, I'm going to remove this, so I'm going to close it, I'm going to save it, close, and then go to our page, our command here, paste this. So this is the method, this is what we want, resolve the namespace. So and then in the page 2 dot XAML, where we have this our page, our button click, what we're going to do is to change it to a command. But before we do that, let's quickly do that. Actually, the command is going to be binding to the next command. Yeah, so now that we have this, what we're going to do is to do the same for all other pages. So that's going to be easy. Now I'm going to copy this command and just change things around. So for page 3 view model, we're going to have this, and then it's going to navigate to page 4. So resolve some of these namespaces. Going to resolve some of these namespaces, and then we'll be able to go. Page 3 goes to page 4, and then on page 4 will go to go back to the main page. So page 3 either goes to page 4 or goes home. This would go back to the main page, and then let me resolve this. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and go back to the page 3. We need to have 2 commands there because we have two buttons. So one goes to, so this one will be like home command, say home command. So this goes back home, and then the next one goes back to page 4. So I think we have one more page or 2 more pages. So page 2, page 3, page 2, page 3, page 4, and then the main page view model. So next command goes to page 2, and then I can resolve this page, this namespace rather. All right, so having done all this, so what I'm just doing is to create the view model and then all the commands that we're going to use. So I'll start back by going to each of the pages. So let's start with the main page, and then this button, is gonna, the button click is gonna go, I'm gonna change it to command, and then the command is going to be binding to the next command. So what I'm going to do is to copy this and then paste, because we have the same command in all other view models. So that's for the main page. For the page 2, I think we've done that. So page 3, page 3 has 2 buttons. So one is going to the next page, and the other one is going to the going back home. So we're going to change this to home command, and then I think we have page 4 that goes back home. So I'm going to change this click to home command. All right, so having done all this, now what we now need to do is to use the dependency injection to inject these view models to our pages, and then we now need to also now register those pages, right? So for us to be able to use it, so let's start with the main page. So for the main page here, all we need to do is to say main page view model. We inject it as this, and call it VM, and then from here we can say the binding context of this page equals VM. So we are injecting the view model, and then we are setting the binding context of this page to the view model. So that is for the main page. Let's do that for page 2. The same thing. So we'll say page 2 view model VM, and then we can do just gonna say binding context equals VM. So I'm just gonna copy this so that we'll be able to paste it easily. So that's for page 2. Let's go to page 3. We're gonna inject page 3 view model VM, and then we're gonna say the binding context is this. Then lastly, page 4, we'll say page 4 view model VM, and then we say the binding context is this. All right, so now if we are injecting, but if we try to run this now, this is not going to work because we are yet to actually register the dependencies, right? The same thing, we are yet to use any service now. We're just using the view model so it can work. So if I try to quickly run this now, you will see that we will not be able to use it, because it will need us to register the view models. Remember, before we were able to work with this, all I've just done is to change things back into using MVVM rather than using code behind, and we are injecting the view models just the same way. We're also going to inject, let's say, the service into the view model, and now want to check to see if it's going to work. But I know it's not going to work, but let's confirm. All right, so as you can see that this is not working, we can see the error that we have. We say it is missing the no parameterless constructor defined for the page, so that's why it's breaking. It's because we are injecting and we have not registered it. So to register, to use dependency injection that is common to .NET MAUI, you have to go to the MAUI program.cs, and then somewhere, I think from here, after this point, be careful not to put this in the debugger bit. So it has to be either after the debugger or before. So we do builder dot services dot register dot builder dot services dot add. So for our view models, we want to add it as a transient, what was it called? We want to add it as transient, and we're just going to say page 2 view model, and that's it. So this is for the page 2 view model. We're going to do for, so let me do for the main page view model, page 2 view model. Let's do for page 3 view model, and then we're going to do for page 4 view model, page 4 view model. So these are for all the view models. Now we have to do for our pages. Now for our pages, because our pages does not really change per se, we can try to add our pages as a single thing. So you can say add, because it's a single page, add single thing dot add single thing. I just want to show you different ways you can do that. So we can say our main page, then we have other pages that we need to do. So let's say page 2, we have to do page 3, and then we have to do for page 4. Now if we have services that which we are going to look at very soon, if you have services, we have to also come here to register the service. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to add a service by the time we are looking at this, the easy way to do things, and add a service, and then see that we don't need to do any other thing once you create any of those services, because we will have written a code that will help us to register them automatically. So with all this now, we can run this this project, and our navigation that is not working before, the code that's not running before, should be able to run, and then we'll be able to navigate from one page to the other page to the other page without any issue. You can see our code is running now. If I say go to page 2, you can see it's going to page 3, to page 4, go back to the main page. The main page is not working. I think we must have missed something, either by not adding the code to this page or by not setting something. So page 4, let's quickly see, go to code, finding context, page 4, home command. Do we have home command in page 4? No. So you can see the error now. This is the next command instead of home command. So just gonna say home command, so it will work later on. So but you can see that it's working now. But if you can already see what our challenge is. Imagine you have 20, 50, 100 view models in your project. Now this list becomes longer. So you have, let's say you have 100 pages, 100 view models. So you're going to have 100 lists here for view models, 100 lists for pages, and let's say you have like 20 services. So this is going to be a long list. Now one way that people usually solve this is by extracting this into another class, extension class, whereby you can put that list in. However, for every time you had a page, you had a view model, or you had a service, you will have to always go back to that place, or this particular MAUI program.cs, to add it to the list, which is not sustainable. Sometimes you forget, and then you run, you see something is not working, you have to see, oh, you've forgotten to register the service or the view model. So in order for us to be able to do it the easy way, we're going to install a plugin. So let's go to our NuGet package, and then let's find a plugin. And the name of the plugin is called 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐞. I will leave a link in the description for you to read the documentation for that. So you can see register services using assembly scanning and a Fluent API. So what I'm going to do is to install this into our project. And once this is installed, we're going to create a class. Let's just wait for it to complete the installation, and then we'll move on. So now the installation is complete. So what we now need to do, what I'm going to do is to comment this out, because we're not going to be needing this anymore. So what I'm going to do is to come to somewhere in our code. So let me just go to custom and add a class. You can put it anywhere, and I'm going to call this 𝐷𝐻_registrar. So I'm going to call this 𝐷𝐻_registrar. Yeah, and then now here, so I'm going to make this public really. And here, what we want to do is going to be a public static class, And what we want to do is to create an extension method here from our app builder for it to help us to do the registration. So what we're going to do is to say public static MAUI app builder, because that's our builder class. If you go to MAUI programs and if you put over on this, you can see it's MAUI app builder. So we're going to create an extension method for the MAUI app builder, and then we're going to call this register services, and then we'll pass this MAUI builder, and we can call this builder instead of app builder. And now in this extension method, we want to use Fluent API to extract to register the our pages and our view model. So you know what, in order to make things cleaner, we're going to separate things into different extension methods. So I'm going to copy this, I'll paste this one. So now I'm going to comment this out. We'll come back to this later on. This is for our services. Let's call this register views so that we make things cleaner, right? So we register our view model, and then we register the services. So we have two methods. So one is register view, the other one is register view models. All right, let's start with our view. So for our view, what we want to do is to say builder dot register builder dot services, and in this service is going to say dot scan. So you can see we have a method now. This is coming from the 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐿 plugin that we installed. So we want to scan all through and find where the services are located. Now let's just call this hi, and then we're going to find it from different places. Okay, so let's start from here. So what I want to do, want to use the assembly that is calling this particular the assembly that is calling this particular extension method. So we just say hi dot from calling assembly. What do we want to do? We want to say dot add classes. And what classes do we want to add? So the classes we want to add are classes that are assignable to a content page, because all our pages are content pages, right? So just say c dot assignable to a content page, and then that's it. And what do we want to do? Because they are not, we don't have any implementation. We don't, when you are registering services, you can have the abstract and the implementation. So the contract and implementation, interface and the implementation of it, right? So like something like iService and then the service. But in this case, for our pages, we're just registering them as themselves. So we need to just say dot as self, just register it as itself. And then how do you want to register it? We want to register it as either transient or single thing, right? So let's just say because we did single thing before, so let's just say dot as with single thing lifetime. So what this is going to do, so before I forget, let's now return our builder, at least to end this particular code. So what it's going to do is going to scan from the assembly. It's going to have the class, all the classes that is of type content page. It's going to register them as self, and then it's going to put them as a single thing, right? So for the view model, we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to copy this and come to our view model. It's going to follow the same pattern. The difference now here, there are two differences. One is the classes that are assignable to the base view model. So that you can see the use of our base view model now. any class that is assignable to the base view model will now be registered also as self, because we don't have any other implementation of the base view, of the view model. Will be registered as self, and we're going to use the transient. Let me just say with the transient lifetime, and then this is done. So what we now need to do is to go back to our MAUI program. Our MAUI program .cs here. So where we comment things out here, what we just need to do is to just call our builder dot let's say register. You can see register view model, and then we also say builder dot register views. So with this now, when we run our application, we should be able to have the same thing. And anytime you add more pages, more view models to the folder, you don't need to manually add any other code, which I'm going to show you soon with the services. So let's quickly complete this. Let's run this one now. Let's see what's going to give to us. So if I go to the page, you can see that our dependency injection is working, with the code that we've written. So with this now, I can remove all this, and then you can see that all we need to do is to write this code. It's going to scan all the assembly and then register those pages and view models as they should. Now, before we continue, if you like this video, if you are getting value from this video, please give it a thumbs up, and then don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so. So now the last thing we want to look at is for our services, right? We've done for the view, for the view model. Now let's look at our services, right? Now I already have a folder here for services. So what I'm going to do is right there, I'm going to have a class. So because we want to use the same method for this, so I'm going to have a class. I'm going to call that 𝐦𝐨𝐬. I will show you the reason very soon. You can put this anywhere. I'm just trying to make things clean. Let's say 𝐦𝐨𝐬, and then in this 𝐦𝐨𝐬, it doesn't matter what is inside. I'm going to take this out. So in this 𝐦𝐨𝐬, what I'm going to do is to say, what we're going to do is to create 3 different interfaces, right, with no implementation, and you will see what I'm going to do. So one is going to be for singleton, for transient, and for scope. So we have these 3 interfaces, 3 different interfaces: a singleton, scope, and a transient and a scope. And what we want to do is we want to create here our service. Let's create, first of all, let's call this is an interface. Let's call this let's say what now? had value, had service. Let's just say add service, and then it's gonna be, let's make this a public, and from here you're just gonna have say int had, and then we're going to say a comma b. So we just want to add two ints together, 2 values together, and then return the value, right? Simple service. And then we're going to add the implementation here. So let's just call this the add service, and then this add service is going to implement the 𝐸_add service, right? And then we can implement the interface to add a service and just say return, or we may not necessarily even use this. Let's just say this is gonna be, come on, a plus b, and that is what is going to happen. It's going to return, the a plus b. Now what we need to do is just to go back to our 𝐼_add service, and then we're going to inherit we want to make this let's say a transient. So high transient, you can see that we have here our services. We're going to inherit from this. Now this will now be our entry point for the registration of the dependency injection. So let's go back to our DI registrar, and then for the services we're going to write let's uncomment this out. So what we're going to do is to now register the services, and then we follow the same pattern that we have before. The difference now is, so we just say from we don't need to do so we don't need to do from calling we want to do from calling assembly now, because our assembly is actually calling this, right? So what we're going to do is to say let me just copy. I'm trying to copy this now. So from calling assembly, what we want to add is to add the assignable to high transient. Those are the two transients. It should be this one. So that is assignable to high transient. This is our interface, and we want to register these as implemented interface. So not as self, as implemented interfaces, and then want to give it a lifetime. So with the transient lifetime. So because this is a transient one, right? And then we will not go. We are not leaving yet. We can continue to add more. So I'm going to come from here now, from this add classes. Before we finish up here, I'm going to copy, and then before the last parentheses, I'll go down like this, and I'm going to paste this at this point and put this one as I scoped implement as interfaces, and then with scope lifetime. And then lastly, we want to do the one that is 𝐴𝐚𝐧𝐭, register it as implemented interfaces with 𝐴𝐚𝐧𝐭 lifetime. And now this is the end. So what this is going to do is it's going to scan through the service, assembly, and then look for anything that is assignable to this. And don't forget, our service is assignable to the high transient, right? If you had another service and then you want to make it scoped, you just inherit this. If you want to make it single thing, you inherit this, and then it will scan all throughout the assembly and then register them, appropriately. So with this now, what we can then do, we can easily go to one of our view models, and then let's go to the main page view model, where we have the next page. So before that, we can create a constructor here, and then we can put add service and call it add service, and then we can create an assign field like this, a read only add service, waiting for it. Yeah. So now with this now, what we can do when we click on next first is just to test our service that is working. We can say verb results equals to our add service dot add, and then we want to add 5 and 6, right? Want to add 5 and 6, and then before we go to the next page, or after we are on the next page, we want to say application dot current dot main page dot display alerts, and then we want to say results. That's the title, and then we pass in our value, say addition is, I'm going to correct this later on, so addition is the result, and then we're going to have the OK. I'm going to close this, and then because this is awaitable, I'm just going to do this so that I don't have to put the I don't know why this is complaining. Anyways, this should work. So let's quickly run this now. Unable to resolve services 𝐬𝐨𝐬𝐬 while attempting to activate the view model. So definitely there's something wrong. Random this 𝐬𝐸 from calling assembly. Let's see, unable to activate the service. So let's go back to the registrar. Oh, okay. So what we forgot to do is to go to the MAUI programs. There's something last that we're supposed to do, is to do builder.register services. So I thought I've already done this before, but I haven't. So this is the only thing we need to do in the MAUI programs. So we have an extension method for view models, for view, and for services. All right. So we have to call those extension methods. So now we can see that it's working. If I click go to, so you can see now that the addition is 11, and this is working. I can go back and then do the same thing. You can see that it's still working. All right, guys. So that's it. That's how you can do DI. That's dependency injection the easy way in .NET MAUI. And you can even use this method in any of your projects, your ASP.NET projects, and any other .NET project that you're working on. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and then I will see you in the next one.